My 29F husband 31 meters threw away all my food because I'm a cow. I am not the oop. Oop is you, Throra 3469. My 29F husband 31 meters threw away all my food because I'm a cow. Originally posted to our relationship advice. Trigger warning. Verbal abuse. Emotional abuse and manipulation. Withholding food. Infant abuse. Body shaming. Less than. Mood spoiler. Hopeful but infuriating. Less than. Original post July 19, 2023. We've been married for 6 years and together for 9 years. 2 college kids who fell in love and decided to build a life together. I recently gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, 14 weeks old, who's my entire world. I've suffered through 3 miscarriages and experienced several complications during pregnancy. I was on bed rest for 3 months and had to go through over 20 hours of labor before the doctors performed an emergency C-section. But our daughter was born healthy and happy, and all that pain was worth it. I had gained about 30 pounds during my pregnancy. I was 5 feet 7, 121 pounds prior. After giving birth I gained another 10 pounds since I have been breastfeeding, and my body has been craving calorie-dense foods. Not junk food. Just 70% minimum cacao chocolate. Stuff like plantain chips, meats, dairy, nuts, etc. The doctor told me that I should listen to my body's needs and feed myself whatever I feel like I need. My husband has been helpful. He was happy when he learned the gender, took care of me and accommodated all my needs during my bed rest postpartum. However, he started to make up excuses to not help with the baby. He hasn't been as affectionate with our daughter as I had hoped he would be. He made a few negative comments about my weight here and there. Like, "You're a bit chubby. Today's a good day to work out and shed some pounds." I was an extremely active woman who worked out 45x a week and indulged in dangerous and adventurous activities. But now I'm completely exhausted. I can barely get out of bed. I've collapsed 5 times. And I'm stressed out, and at the same time I have to take care of our baby and the household. The other day, my husband had already gone to work and I went to the kitchen and found all my food gone. Every single bag, box, package, everything. I called him crying to inquire where all my food is, and he told me that he threw everything out because I needed to start losing weight. I hung up on him and called my best friend so she could bring me some food that I needed from the store. Afterwards my husband came home, and when he saw the food that she had brought, he threw everything outside and smashed everything with his foot. I was furious with him, and I was screaming and yelling at him for being a selfish boss, and he called me a FC King Cow while throwing some of the crushed packages at me, and ended with punching a hole in the door. I called my brother, who picked me and my baby up, and I'm now staying at his place. His mother, sister, and even my own mother are all defending him, and that I have to lose weight and apologize to him for my postpartum breakdown. I guess I'm just not sure if this is good grounds to file for divorce, or should I listen to my mother? Is this how all men are wired? Update August 2nd, 2023. Update. Thank you guys for the comments on my previous post. However, even though I really wanted to follow everyone's advice about weight, eating, and divorcing, my mother still got in my head, and because I've always obeyed her I listened and went back to my husband. He did say that he was sorry for calling my FC King Cow, but he said he was only being honest, and said, and I quote, "Isn't honesty the most important foundation of a happy and healthy relationship?" Quote. And I thought he was right. So I started cutting back on my food and eating low-calorie foods, but problems almost immediately arose. My energy levels dropped and my milk supply diminished quickly. I must have collapsed at least 4 during that period, and 3 days ago, at night, The baby was crying non-stop and my husband got angry and yelled at me to make her stop. I told him that I wasn't producing enough milk due to lack of food, and he literally said, "Cows eat grass and produce gallons of milk. What are you, a meat cow?" Quote. That's when I decided to take my daughter while I was shushing her and letting her breastfeed whatever drops of milk I had there, and once my husband fell asleep, I left the house and came to my best friend, who welcomed me in and told me I can stay here as long as I need to. I didn't go to my brother because I didn't trust him anymore, since he also told me that I should work things out with my husband. I already filed for divorce and cut off contact with his family and my own mother. My best friend and her fiancé have been helping me a lot by taking care of my baby while I was resting, and my best friend would bring whatever I needed from the store. My milk supply has returned to normal and I haven't collapsed once. I've probably had more rest for these 3 days than I've had in a month. I am going to attempt to get full custody and supervised visits from the father. But my best friend's fiancé said that it might be difficult to do without evidence. And I do have at least some evidence, because we of course have cameras outside our house and they recorded everything. It may not be enough, but fingers crossed. But the Reddit advice has helped me a lot and I appreciate all the help. This is a repost sub IAM, not the oop. Her husband needs to be turned into a steer. He doesn't want that baby. I wouldn't be surprised if she got full custody and he just sort of disappears. Everyone in this woman's life failed her except her best friend. Poor woman. She was on the absolute bottom end of BMI when they met. So if she was also fit and muscular, likely underweight, and the fact that wasn't an issue for him says it all. It sounds like he had a skinny fetish if his partner being ultra thin was more important than her well-being or her newborn child's well-being. Someone find and tase this man. God, I hope her miscarriages or complications didn't stem from this same issue. Him trying to control her diet or pushing her too much. Poor women. I hope her and her baby will be okay. It's terrible when your own family doesn't support you 100%. This is horrific. Husband is insane. Man, I just watched the episode of Grey's Anatomy where a girl lost like 20 pounds for a guy who kept pushing her to exercise more and eat less to get skinnier and hotter, and she ended up dying because of how much ibuprofen she was taking to help with the workouts, and also because she was basically nutrient deprived. And boyfriend kept saying it wasn't his fault. She was healthy. He didn't do it, etc. Callie shoulda beat his ass fr. Honesty? Is that what this guy thinks is the hallmark of a healthy relationship? Well buddy, you are honestly a total poss. How's that for honesty? Does this feel healthy now? I can't believe so many of her people defended this guy. I audibly cried out in shock. Like he wanted her to starve. PSA. Ladies, you will never be as vulnerable in your entire lives as when you're pregnant or with a newborn. Your relatives and SOs will show their true colors then. Trust your instincts. If you feel something is wrong, say so to try and get help. If the people around you love you and care about you, they'll be there for you. If you find them making life harder for you, know it's them and not you. They'll try their hardest to make you believe you are the problem, but it's just them taking their masks off. I won't say choose your partner wisely, because you can never know in advance if people will choose to reveal themselves once they feel you're trapped. But I will encourage every woman out there to not get pregnant unless you are willing to accept the possibility of having to go at it all on your own. Because there's a chance you'll have to. I breastfed both of my children. And I am also 5'7". I was around 115 pounds when I got pregnant. I gained 25 pounds during each pregnancy. And my OB made sure to let me know that if I tried to diet, I would lose my milk. Apparently having a low BMI means the extra calories are critical for milk production. My doctor explained that I needed to preserve a small band of fat around my abdomen. Because if I lost it, it would signal my body to stop producing. I weighed 135 pounds until I was done nursing. Once I stopped, the craving for extra calories also stopped. And the weight fell off. Her lazy-ass husband straight up stopped her milk. She was obviously not overweight, because she stopped producing as soon as she started dieting. She was obviously stressed out and exhausted, since he wouldn't help with the baby. I'm surprised she was able to nurse at all. She collapsed repeatedly and he responded by throwing away her food. A nursing mother should not have the build of a 16-year-old cheerleader. Your body will literally stop being capable of feeding your child. This man is absolutely disgusting. I hope she nailed him in the divorce. Edited for a word. Oop had to nearly die and starve her own daughter before she woke up and left. Why is her trash family her mother, her sister, and her brother defending her abusive husband? JFC. Remember folks, it is always downhill after he punches a hole in a wall. She had a baby less than 4 months ago via C-section after a tough pregnancy and is currently breastfeeding, and her POS husband and family thinks she should start losing weight. Jesus Christ, that's awful. Man, oops, family sucks. Dude, WTF, it's so sad people don't know that this is not normal. She really needs extensive therapy and to know this should never happen to anyone. Nothing close. Breaks my heart. If anyone withholds my food from me, I'll very likely show him who I really am. I hope she gets alimony and child support for having to go through that. And if possible goes BC with her family. Because they sound horrible. With a family like that, who need enemies? JFC. I wish the best for Oop and her daughter. For one thing, she's not fat. 150 pounds at 5 feet 7 is fine. For another thing, she needs extra calories when she's nursing. It seems like she learned that the hard way. Other thing, there is absolutely no excuse for freaking out on your partner the way he did. Crushing their stuff, throwing things, and punching holes in the wall are all unacceptable. At that point, you leave and don't look back. Because that stuff escalates. Finally, while beside the point, I also want to point out that actual cows only produce as much milk as they do because of selective breeding and husbandry practices. You can't take a wild bovine or even a beef cow and get the same result. A-hole husband is not only an abusive a-hole, but totally ignorant. But again, beside the point, because women aren't cattle. Never block them for further evidence of abuse he might send ops way via texts or phone calls. More evidence for the divorce lawyer.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.